Hello everybody, I'm Sharp and Blade, and today, I don't know if you can hear me now, it's pretty windy, but today we're going to be taking a look at the, I never remember this number, BBM4223. It's from Blackfire. You probably can't see this real well. I'll give a closer look inside, but right now we're going to do some testing of the knife. So, let's get into it. So, oh, tearing her down. So let's see how well this cuts first. We have at least a place to start with. So it cuts fairly well. Alright. Save that. And for cardboard, see how it slices. Oh yeah. Yeah, it slices real good, so I'll keep that for now too. So it slices through cardboard very well. Where's some rope? I gotta find some rope, just a sec. I had a whole bunch of rope, but of course I can't find it, so I have this little bit. Oh, it's locked. I'll show that too. So, Blackfire is a US based company, not for knives. Yeah, it cuts alright. I could be an idiot and cutting wrong. There you go. Yeah. See, it's not a very long piece. If you had longer pieces, it'd be easier to hold and it'd be easier to cut with these serrations. But it works alright. So yeah, they're a US based company. They sell knives. They have this folding knife. They have a fixed blade knife. Mostly they just have outdoor gear for people. Gear for the outdoor life. It's on their website. So, you know, they're not a knife making company. They, Klein is, I think, their parent company. So they use Klein's resources and technology to make knives, but they're not a knife making company. This knife is for people that go on their website. They're going to go camping or hiking. They decide they want to get a knife, they don't want to spend a bunch of money, so this is on the site, they just add it to the cart and away they go. So I'll try it on some wood. I could have got some with less branches, but whatever. It is what it is. It'd help if I used the correct hand. I'm left-handed. It's doing pretty good. No hot spots that I can notice. You can feel the pocket clip a little bit. Again, I'm using this left-handed. I'm not noticing any hot spots this way. I'll try it. Yeah, the pocket clip is a little bit of a hot spot in the right hand, but you know, it's doing alright. I'm going to try to get through the rest of this. Alright. So yeah, if you're out in the woods, you need to make a spear with this, you definitely could. Alright, so let's test the edge again. Oh, I picked up the wrong cardboard. It's real windy out too. I could have done this inside, I guess. Not the smartest way to hold this either. So yeah, I keep catching the serrations in there, so I don't usually like serrated blades. But let's try some paper. Oh, that was here. Trying some paper here. I mean, it's holding a pretty good edge. It's 440A steel. It's holding a pretty good edge. Try not to make a mess. Trying to make a mess here. Yeah, so I'm impressed with that. It's $29.99 USD, by the way. That's pretty good. So, since it is an outdoor knife, you know, chances are you're going to be using it with gloves on. So I put on some gloves. So, the pocket easy. There's the lock. Easy to disengage that safety with the gloves on. Easy enough to use. Disengage it. No problems. You use it left-handed? Of course. Why not? Engage the lock. The only thing I noticed is the thumb studs get caught on the top of my pants pocket, and they get caught on the hem of my pocket, so they kind of stick up. So you kind of have to move it around to get it past that. Not a big deal. I just noticed that though. It's a fairly big. Here, I'll take the gloves off. It's a fairly large pocket clip. Like I say, I'll show this more inside as well. But yeah, I think I've done all the testing and stuff I need to do out here. Let's go inside where it's a little bit quiet. Okay, so here's a closer look at the knife. So you have a place to put your lanyard here. You have this is the only position you can put the pocket clip in. Tip down, right hand carry. It'll sit like this in your right hand pocket. So the spine of your blade will be towards the middle of your pocket, which is not a big deal because it does have the safety on it. And if you carry it left-handed, then the spine of the blade will be towards the edge, the side of your pocket. So you don't have to worry about it opening either way, but it does carry both ways. So right hand, left hand carry. It's easy enough to deploy left-handed because of the assisted opening. And then you have resistance until right about here, then it's about right there. So if you forget to put the safety on and you have it in your pocket, it takes a fair amount of movement. It's not like it's going to just completely open in your pocket without you really knowing. it takes a fair amount of moving before it does fully deploy. So that's not too bad either. And like I showed previously, it's easy enough to use this knife with gloves on too. So the materials are, like I mentioned before, 440A on the blade steel. Might as well open it. 440A in the blade steel. The scales are aluminum, stainless steel liners, and a G10 backspacer. Ergos are good. They feel nice in hand. If you're using it hard without gloves on, you will notice a pocket clip. It's not a hot spot per se in the left hand. Depends on the size of your hand, of course. But it is a bit of a hot spot in the right hand. Now, if you have gloves on, that doesn't matter. You're not really going to notice it. So it just kind of depends how you use it. Now, I would say, here, let me get a little cloth here and clean this up. For how I use it, that coating on this actually held up very well. I'm impressed. Like I say, for it being $30, you got to keep that in mind. This is a $30 knife. For this being $30, that finish held up extremely well. I normally don't like a black coating on a blade because it does show wear. If it's not done right, it shows wear quite easily. But this, you can see where I used it, of course, but it's not rubbing off. So that's pretty cool. I like that. You can see a little bit there on the tip. Not too bad. But overall, it stood up pretty well. Cutting the rope with the serrations, I've never really used serrations before, so I don't know if I just wasn't using it with the correct technique or not. It did a decent job. It'd probably be just as easy to cut rope with this as it would be with these, but at least you have serrations there if you need them. I will say though that little edge, that little tip right there, did bend over a little bit. That is a pretty thin tip on there, so it did bend a little bit there. Yeah, overall, the blade is, the knife is impressive for what it is. For the company not being a knife company, for them, they make generators, fans, radios, flashlights. I got a flashlight from them as well. They have this knife, and then they have a fixed blade. 2 knives, that's it. If they go back to the drawing board and start over and make another knife, I'm hoping they might use some better blade steel. But like I said before, they're not looking to get knife enthusiasts buying their knives. At least I don't think so anyways. They're more for outdoor enthusiasts. Their customers aren't necessarily knife people. They're just people looking for a knife. And I think from how I've used this and from what I've done with this, there'd be a lot worse options to use than this. This is pretty good actually for what it is. This is like, it's hard because you know, I'm used to much more expensive knives. So I gotta kind of take a step away from myself for a bit here. But if you're just looking for a knife to throw in a bag or throw in your pocket and go camping with, use it, abuse it. If you lose it, it's not a big deal. You can just buy another one. If that's what you're looking for, then this would be a great option. Now, a few things I would change. I already mentioned they probably should go with maybe D2 on the blade steel. That might hold an edge a little bit better, be a little bit tougher steel. If they're going to put a black coating on it, you know, they don't have to worry about rust in that case either. Maybe lose the aluminum scales and put G10 on instead. That might be a better idea. You could save a little bit of money there. I mean, I don't know how things cost, how much they cost, but I would imagine aluminum would cost more than G10. So they could get rid of the aluminum, put G10 on. It would be grippier. It might not look as cool. Like, it's nice to say, oh, this is aluminum, but they could shave a few dollars off the price by switching to G10 and then put a little bit of that money into the blade steel and go with like D2 or something. They should have a pocket clip that's not necessarily this long, and and at least have it so that you can put tip down, tip up, and have a lefty friendly if you want, but at least have tip up or tip down options. If you're trying to keep your costs down, to try to get detent dialed in, I'm sure that's cost money, right? So I understand why they went with the spring assist. I don't really like a spring assisted knife. This one is fine. It's, as far as spring assisted knives go, this one is, like, I have no problems with this. It's nice that they include the safety on it. So would I recommend this knife? Yes and no. I recommend it wholeheartedly for the audience that Blackfire is hoping sees this and wants to buy it. The people that aren't necessarily knife people, they're outdoorsy people. They want a knife they can use and abuse or lose if they need to. This would be a great knife for you. If you're someone that's, you EDC a knife every day, you love fidgeting with the knife, stuff like that. You know what you know who you are. You probably aren't going to be excited by this at all, and I understand that. But for what Blackfire designed this for and who they designed this for, I think this is a great knife for that audience. Overall, I like the knife. It's a solid knife for the price. And the biggest thing when you get a knife of this price point, biggest thing is fit and finish, right? Sometimes the fit and finish isn't good. Everything feels nice. You can feel, it's not perfectly flush, but I mean it's not bad. You can feel the liners a little bit over the scales, but that's not bad. The centering, it's not perfectly centered. It's a little bit towards the lock side. But for an inexpensive spring-assisted knife, that's pretty good centering, I would say. You don't feel the tip. You can't touch the tip. You can't touch the back of the blade. There's knives that are more expensive that you can do that with. So, I mean, really, they did a really good job with this knife for what it costs. So, I'll leave a link to Blackfire in the description of this video. Check them out. Even if you don't want a knife, they have lots of other stuff. Like I say, they sent me a flashlight too. The flashlight is awesome. I'm excited to get that review done too, because the flashlight is really cool. But for right now, this should do for this knife. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put right up here real quick, I'll do some specs. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Take care.